Okay, so today we're going to be doing our second exercise of the cash payments journal. So the first thing we do is we look for the name of the business, our first bullet point, draw up the cash payments journal of Muller Services. So we go to page 27 in our workbook where we have our answer sheet, and we're going to add in the name of the company, Muller Services. August 2020, and we then have a look and see August is the 8th month in the year, so that will make our code at the end CPJ Ex. Okay, we then have to fill in our column headings, so we have a look at our second bullet point. We're going to provide for the following analysis columns: bank, that's already filled in, material costs, wages, equipment, and sundry. We go to our answer sheet, material costs, wages, and equipment. So once we have our column headings, I'm just going to center them. We can then start recording our transactions. Remember that doc number, that is where we record the check number. We have day, that is where we record the day that the transaction occurred on. Name of payee, who are we paying? What would we have written on the check under the name of payee? Bank, that is where we record every single amount that has gone out. It's going out of our bank account because we are buying things, we are paying for things. We then record either the amount under a column heading if we're buying or paying for material costs, wages, and equipment. If it's anything else, we then record the value under sundry accounts. So have a look at our very first transaction. The check number is 001. We then record that on day 1. We are paying the City of Cape Town. So check number 001, day 1. Who are we paying? We are paying the City of Cape Town. How much are we paying? Have a look and we see that we are going to pay them 100 Rand. What are we paying for? We are paying for our trading license. So 100 Rand goes under bank. None of these headings say trading license, so we go to our sundry column. We enter the value, 100 Rand, and it's for our trading license. We then go to the very next transaction. Automatically, after 1 comes 2, so our very next check number would be 002. Have a look for the day. This is day 3. We are purchasing a second-hand delivery van, and we're buying it from Market Toyota. So we can enter day 3. We are purchasing this from Market Toyota. How much money are we spending on the delivery van? 123,900. A delivery van is called a vehicle in accounting. So we look to see if there's a column called vehicles. There's not. So we would go straight away to our sundry accounts and enter the value 123,900, and we have purchased a vehicle. Our next check number would be 003. The next transaction is also on day 3, and we are purchasing from Van Wyk suppliers, and we're buying a couple of different things. So let's just enter Van Wyk suppliers. Now I need to work out the total value that we paid for those items from. So we're going to say 12,300 plus 234 plus 1,123. And if I do that on the calculator, 234 plus 1, 2, 1123, I get 13,657. That is the total value that we paid to Van Wyk suppliers. So we're now going to enter it under the bank column, 657. We now split it up into the different things, categories of things that we have purchased. Firstly, we are purchasing equipment for 12,300. So we have a look. We have a column that says equipment. So on the very same line, we can enter 12,300. We are also buying stationery for 234. We don't have a column for stationery, so we enter it under sundry. And we are also buying packing material. We don't have a column for packing material, so underneath we enter 1,123 Rand, and that is recorded as packing materials. We then make sure we don't fill anything else on that line. We don't confuse transactions. 004 will then be the following line. And we have a look. We have cashed a check for 840 Rand on day 7. So we enter day 7. Cashed a check means we wrote the word cash on the check, and it was for 840 Rand. They then tell us 240 was for wages. So we go under the wages column and we enter 240 Rand. And the remainder, 600 Rand, was for the owner's personal use. And when anything is to do with the owner's personal use, we record that as drawings. There is no column for drawings. So we would enter that 600 Rand in sundry as drawings. We then move on to our next check number. And if we have a look, very next transaction is day 11. We are paying Naidu stores. So we go, to our cash journal, day 11. We are paying Naidu stores. How much? We need to calculate that value now. So we're going to add 2,230 plus 1,660 plus 2,120. That will give us our total value. So on your calculator, 2,230 plus 1,660 plus 2,120, and we get 6,010. That is our total value that we would then enter. 6,010. This is the total value that we paid to Naidu stores. Of that, we have 2,230 Rand for filing cabinets and office furniture for 1,660. Any kind of equipment or office furniture, cabinets, that kind of stuff is recorded as equipment. So we're going to want to add those first two values together. So 2,230 plus 1,660 will give us 2,230 plus 1,660, 3,890. That is the value of our equipment. And then the 2,120 is stationery. So we go to our journal. Under the equipment column, we're able to enter 3,890. That is the total value of our equipment. And our stationery is 2,120. And that goes under sundry because we don't have a column for stationery. And we can move on to our very next transaction. So we have a look. We're on day 15. Paid the weekly wages by check, 8,340. Now, if you remember anything about how we pay wages versus salaries, wages are paid weekly. They are paid by cash. So we would have written cash on the check. So we're going to record that on day 15. Cash. We record our value, 8,340, which is going for wages. And so we have a column for wages, 8,340. And we're then able to move on to our next transaction, 007. And have a look and see. The next transaction is on day 17. And we've cashed the check to buy 3 different things. We have oil and petrol, we have stationery, and we have drawings. So we need to add the values together to get the total amount that was written on the check. So 700 plus 1,300 plus 1,000 will give you 3,000. Okay, so you can do that on your calculator if you want to. 700, 1,300 plus 1,000. Should have been an easy enough sum. You get your 3,000 Rand. So we go to our journal. It's day 17. We write cash, 3,000 Rand. Of that, we're going to record 700 Rand for fuel. 700 fuel. We then have 1,300 for stationery. And we have 1,000 for drawings. All of these are sundry items, so we leave the other columns empty. And we make sure that we don't record anything else in these rows. So our very next check will go over here. And it's going to be day 21. We've bought a building from Williams Properties. So we can record date 21. Williams Properties. And we spent 450,000. Property, land and building. We're going to record under sundry 450,000. And we record that as land and buildings. We then move on to our next transaction, day 24. And we have a look. Paid materials, purchased from Mackenzie Traders, 4,500. 24. Mackenzie Traders, 4,500 for materials. Materials are material costs. Check number 10 on day 26. We have sent a check to the City of Cape Town. So who are we paying? City of Cape Town. And the total amount that we sent was for 1,567 Rand. Now, of that amount, it's going to split up into 2 different things. We've got 780 for water and electricity and the remainder for rates and taxes. So to work out the remainder, we're going to say 1,567 Rand minus 780, and that will equal 1,567 minus 780 will give us 787 Rand. So 780 is for water and electricity, 787 is for rates and taxes. Both of these things are sundry items because we don't have any columns for water and electricity or rates and taxes. So 780 water and electricity and 787 Rand, rates and taxes. We then make sure we don't write on this line underneath because it's part of that transaction. 011. On day 27, we are sending a check to Telkom. And we're giving two different things that we're going to be paying for. So if we have a look at our transaction, we're paying for the business telephone account as well as the owner's personal telephone account. So if we add them together, 1230 plus 1200, we'll get 2430. That is the total amount that we're going to be paying Telkom, 2430. 2430. And that is for the telephone account. Of the business, 1,230. And 1,200. And what did we work it out to be? 1,200 is for the owner's personal. And that is recorded as drawings. Okay, I can see that I am one row short in the exercise. So I'm just going to insert an extra row. And I'm going to remove that line that shouldn't be there. Okay. We can then move on to check number 012, and that is on day 30. We have paid the weekly wages by check. Whenever we pay for wages, we've written cash on the check, and it's 4,500. And we have a column for wages, 4,500. They don't need to be bold. Okay, now we've recorded all of our transactions for the month. What we're going to do is we're going to add all the values down in the bank column to get the total of bank. So I'm going to add 100 plus 123,900 plus 13,657 plus 840 plus 6,010 plus 8,340, 3,000 plus 450,000 plus 4,500 plus 1,567 plus 2,430 plus 4,500, and I get 618,844. Material costs, we only had one value. Then have wages, 240 plus 8,340 plus 4,500. 13,080. So that must be an 8. And I'm just going to make it slightly smaller so it fits in. We then add 12,300 under equipment with 3,890 and I get 16,190. And we add the last column, 100 plus 123,900 plus 234 plus 1123 plus 600 plus 2120 plus 700 plus 1300 plus 1000 plus 450,000 plus 780 plus 787 1,230 plus 1,200, and we get 58074. Now if I add all the other columns together, that should give me the total of bank. So I'm going to do that. Get 618844. There we go.